Welcome back to my channel. You join me back at Norton Disney. This time I managed to get on Stocks Lake and I'm on swim 12. So I just got set up. I arrived about 10:30 this morning and I had all 3 rods in the water for 12 o'clock ish. So much better than my performance last week. Got set up really quickly this time and yeah, it's looking good. There's no rain today. Might be a bit of rain planned for tomorrow. So I decided to get all my rods out before I got anything else sorted, so that was my priority. And yeah, I really wanted to get a Zig rod out first because this was a swim that I fished in January 2023, my first ever visit to Norton Disney. And I'd done a 48 hour and I caught 4 and they all came from the Zig. So yeah, got the Zig in the water straight away and I do feel confident on this swim with that Zig. I do think that there's a good chance of a daylight bite, if not today, certainly tomorrow. So yeah, that's where we're at. Absolutely buzzing to get on swim 12. When I arrived here a couple of years ago, this was like a newly dug swim and they called it swim 0, and they originally had this as a disabled swim. But yeah, from what I understand, they've now got a disabled swim on Billy's Lake, which is somewhere around peg 20. Peg 19, something like that, and they've changed this to peg 12 or swim 12, and this is no longer the disabled swim, but it's really convenient for the car park. Car park's just behind me, so yeah, really convenient. Didn't need to use my barrow today, so yeah, absolutely buzzing to be in this swim. Go-to tactics, there's going to be 2 rods on the bottom on spinner rigs with a pop-up with just a mesh bag of pellet nipped on that hook. And my 3rd rod is a Zig rod. So in this session, what's in the top bucket is just PVA mesh bags of pellet, just a golf ball size, and that's going to be my go-to tactic for the 2 rods on the bottom. 2 rods on the bottom is my left and right rod, and the plan is with these, every couple of hours I'm going to bring these in and cast it in different areas. So I've started off my left rod over towards that far margin, and there is a life buoy there, and that first cast landed to the right of that life buoy, around there in the centre of the screen, and I'm about 1 rod length off the margin, which is in deep water, and that's my starting point for that left hand rod. I've got a small lead, just a 2 ounce, so there's not much disturbance. So the plan is, like I say, bring these in every couple of hours, freshen the hook bait, get a new PVA bag on, and just keep casting around and just see if we can find anything. My middle rod, which is a Zig rod, that's aimed towards the gap in those trees. I've not got my marker sticks out, I'm just casting roughly, so roughly went out about 40 yards. You've got a 60-yard barrier in this swim. I'm nowhere near there. Currently got no one opposite me, which is surprising. Those 2 swims are very popular if there's a couple of years arriving at the same time. That's always a good swim to jump into if you bring a mate. And my right hand rod, initially that's gone out sort of in line with the corner of that far bank, just in the middle of the lake really. That went out about 40 yards as well. So yeah, we're just going to keep on bringing those in every couple of hours, cast about, see if we can find anything. The Zig rod, I know, was roughly in that area when I done well a couple of years ago. This area of the lake is just a bowl. So this lake, Stocks Lake, it's like a golf club shape. That area up there is the handle, if you like, so it gets narrow and goes further up there. And here we're in the bowl, which is the deep part of the lake. And I think in winter this has got really good form, this area of the lake. I'm not sure how it fishes in the summer. I think in the summer, the shallow area, which is up that handle, I think that does pretty well. But yeah, in the winter, in this deep water, if you can find them, make a Zig work. It certainly worked for me last time. Like I say, I had four carp in a 48 hour. I think the biggest one was about a 26 pounder. Really happy. So yeah, let's see if we can get anything on this session. Feeling confident. I have brought, for anyone who watched my last session last week, I have brought the boilies that I had at home. So what I'm going to do is start trickling them into a certain spot, just catapulting boilies out every few hours into a certain area away from where I'm fishing now, and then maybe tomorrow night I might put a rig on it. Well, I will be putting a rig on it. So that's the plan with those, get them used up, and there we are. So yeah, looking really good, very light winds, air pressure's still high but nowhere near as high as last week. Last week was 1,045, today we're on about 1,030. So yeah, conditions are much better. Temperatures during the day look much more settled than last week. We're now around 5 degrees during the day, dropping to about -2 on a night, so much better than last week where we were getting up to about 11-12 degrees during the day and then going down to -1 on a night. It really affected the fishing. So yeah, conditions are much better. When I paid for my ticket they did say that still not a great deal coming out, just the odd one, but yeah, conditions are certainly better than last week, so feeling much more optimistic. So yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. I'm going to get the kettle on, make a cup of tea and get sorted. One thing I will say, for what I mentioned last week, it took me ages to get set up last week, and I think it was just purely because I hadn't been fishing in about 6 months. But yeah, today I got set up really quickly. I was really happy with how quick it all went, and yeah, I seem to be getting there. I seem to be getting a lot more organised with where I put things in the bivvy. So yeah, I guess it's just through experience, finding I'm a lot more organised, so I'm getting there. Still an oddie, but I'm happy. So there we go. February 14th, Stocks Lake, let's get one on the bank. Well, it's lovely and quiet. It's about 4:30 now, the light's starting to fade. So I'm going to be getting these rods in, freshen up the hook baits, nick a new PVA bag on, get them out there for the night, be getting some food on the go, and yeah, settle down for the night. You never know, something might come along during the night. I was hoping I'd maybe get a quick bite during the day, but it wasn't meant to be. Hopefully we'll get into something tomorrow. But yeah, looked at the weather forecast, there's more rain due tomorrow than was originally forecast earlier. So I think it's going to be quite a heavy rain for the majority of tomorrow morning, early afternoon. Hopefully clear up tomorrow afternoon, and then that'll be it for the rest of the session. So yeah, might be a bit of a busy day tomorrow, but to be fair, in the winter it pretty much is anyway. But I've got my tablet with me, so I can be watching things, watch some movies and stuff, and hopefully we'll get into a fish at some point throughout this session. Be nice to start the year off. It was tough going last week, so I'll update you during the night if I get anything. If not, be in the morning. Well, good morning. It's now 10:15. Yeah, uneventful night as usual. Slept really well. It did shower during the night, and this morning it's that sort of fret type rain, that very small droplets. So yeah, I'm going to make this video short and sweet and get back in the bivvy. So I've reset all 3 rods. Like I say, not a lot to report. Complex has got a bit busy this morning, as it is Saturday morning. As you can see, a couple of people over across from me. And yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? So I'm still optimistic that I could get a bite during the day on the Zig. I think that is my best chance today. I just don't think they're really on the feed still. So this winter fishing, it's not for everyone. You're up against the weather, and the carp don't tend to feed too well. But if you're really keen like me, you can still have a chance of getting one on the bank. So there we go, not a lot to report unfortunately. I'm going to get back in my bivvy and finish my coffee. Well, it's 3:30 now, and unfortunately I've had a very quiet day. So yeah, feeling a little bit deflated. I was really hoping that I'd get a bite, especially during daylight hours today. So there's still an hour and a half or so left of daylight, and then the odds are slipping away. So yeah, there's still a chance I could catch a fish during the night, but lately, historically, the fish haven't been coming out much during the darker hours. So yes, it's not been straightforward. I was really optimistic, especially once I jumped on this lake yesterday. Yeah, I was really optimistic that we're going to get a fish on the bank, but it's not looking too good. I'm really hoping that one of them just rips off at any moment. It'd be a relief. But yeah, so there's not a lot else I can do or say, so this vlog is going to be extremely short. There's no point waffling and dragging it out because there's just nothing happening. I couldn't have done anything different. I think it's always worth having one rod on a zig, especially in this lake where I'm fishing. You've got the deep bowl in front of you, so you really need to have at least one. Well, you need to have one on a zig. 2 rods on the bottom, just fishing mesh bags, casting around every few hours. Yeah, I'm doing nothing wrong. It's just hard going. The whole complex is fishing really hard at the moment. After last week's session, I really thought that they might have started feeding a bit, especially with the steadier temperatures now, but it's not to be. It's not to be. So yeah, like I say, hopefully something can happen soon. If not, it's going to be 5 nights so far this year on the bank with no fish. But never mind, I'm not going to catch them at home. I've got to put the effort in, put the time in on the bank, and I'm sure something will come along. If it's not going to be this session, hopefully the next session. So talking about future sessions, I don't have anything planned as such. I might be able to get an overnighter in, maybe a 24-hour session in within the next week or two, and that's probably going to be somewhere closer to home. I do have a session planned with Peter, my mate, who has been on an old mill vlog, and we're looking at coming here, Norton Disney, and that's going to be in early March. So yeah, so I am going to be returning here, but I'm hoping to get a session in before then. But yeah, it's going to be more than likely somewhere closer to home. So there we go. I will carry on doing very little, and let's hope that the next update is with a fish. If not, golf is becoming more appealing. Well, unfortunately this session has ended in a blank. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised. I did think I had a good chance in this session, especially with being in this swim that I've done well on before, although it was just over a couple of years ago. But yeah, the carp didn't seem to be here. There was drone footage put up on the Facebook site a couple of days ago of a lot of the carp patrolling the reed lines up the shallower end. So maybe I've been at the wrong end, although this is known as the winter end, really, the deep water. But yeah, maybe they're not down here. They might be up in the shallower water. But I do think that they're not really on the feed at this moment in time. It's really tough going. And yeah, that's where things go sometimes. Just want to touch a bit on winter fishing, what my thoughts are, and also what my thoughts are at Norton Disney at winter. So winter fishing in general for me, if there's anything I've learned over the last few years, is a lot of it's up here. A lot of it's mental, and it's about not giving yourself too much sort of hope. I kind of have the mindset when I go fishing in the winter that I'm just going camping, and the rods are in the water just in case. So it's like there's always a chance, but that chance is very slim. And that's my kind of mentality when I do go in the winter, because that is the likelihood. Unless you go to a highly stocked water which has got winter form, you know, they're your chances really. And that's it. So as long as you've got that sort of in your head, then you're not going to be disappointed when you do end up walking away without any fish. Norton Disney in winter, it does have winter form, and it does have anglers regularly here putting the food in, and the fish do come out. There's certain lakes which tend to struggle in the winter, but to be fair, they all struggle as well in the summer, so you know, that's irrelevant. But I think if you were to come in the winter and you really wanted to try and maximise your chance of getting a fish on the bank, then go to the higher stocked lakes, as in this one, Stocks and Hodgetts, to maximise your chance of getting a fish on the bank. I think Billies and Turners can fish quite difficult, a little bit tricky in the winter. And then Pettits, well, Pettits is hard all year round, same with Haldens, but they do come out occasionally. So it is worth fishing here in the winter. I'm certainly not going to knock it. Yes, I've done 5 nights within the last couple of weeks and to no fish on the bank, but you know, that might be something that I'm doing wrong, who knows. But yeah, Norton Disney, it is worth a go. For me personally, obviously I have to travel 2.5 hours to get here, and they do release winter tickets towards the end of each year, and I think they run from the 1st of November to maybe the 1st of March, and I think it's £300 for that ticket for you to fish as much as you like between those months. If I was more local, I'd definitely take them up on that offer. If I could commit maybe 1 night a week or close to that, you know, and try and get, you know, 15 to 20 nights on the bank over the winter, then that would definitely be worth it. Even if you had to fish 5 nights to get 1 fish, you know, you'd still end up getting maybe 3 or 4 fish throughout the winter, which would be worth it in my eyes. But yeah, for me personally, that ticket's not worth it. I wouldn't get my money's worth. I wouldn't be able to commit to more than 10 nights over the winter here, so I wouldn't be doing that. But yeah, if I live more local and you could commit, then it's definitely worth a go. Me moving forward with winter fishing, I think I was having a good think about it, and although I'm mentally strong, I think for me personally, I think maybe just doing 1 night at a time might be better for me, just because you spend so much time in your bivvy and it can get to you. And like yesterday, for instance, I'd spent all night in the bivvy from, say, well, really I'd spent a lot of Friday afternoon in the bivvy. Then Saturday it was raining on and off during the day, so I was in the bivvy all day, and then it was getting dark come 4:30, 5 o'clock. You're just in the bivvy, and even though you can bring things like a tablet and bring things to watch, you do start getting a little bored. Well, I do. Yeah, I've had a good think about it, and I think maybe doing 1 night at a time is just enough for me in the winter, because it brushes the cobwebs off. I'm still excited because I'm on the bank, but I don't get that bored feeling, and I don't get that feeling where I'm a bit, you know, too long in the bivvy. So yeah, I think going forward I'm going to probably look at fishing a bit more local when it comes to the winter, but fish more regularly, but just do 1 night at a time. So it might be just 1 night 1 week, and then 1 night the week after, something along them lines. So maybe I think that'll be for me going forward. I'm just being honest. I always am honest in my vlogs, and yeah, I do get a bit fed up of being in the bivvy so much in the winter. But anyway, there we go. So all in all, still enjoying Norton Disney. Norton Disney for me in the spring and summer is somewhere that I definitely look forward to coming. It's just a very well run day fishery, and yeah, all good. So if you've made it this far in the video, I'm sorry it's been quite a poor one, but there's not been a lot to report, and yeah, it's been tough going. But thanks for watching if you've made it this far, and I'll see you on the next one. Welcome back to my channel. It's now beginning of March, it's Monday the 3rd of March, and I'm back at Norton Disney. I managed to get on Hodgetts Lake. It was actually one of the quietest lakes here. Stocks was full, there was a fair few on Pettits, but then there was plenty of availability on all the rest. Billies, only a handful on, literally no one on Holdens, only a few on Turners, and then there was only 2 or 3 on Hodgetts. So I'm here with Peter on this trip. Peter's a mate of mine, and the last time we went fishing together was either last April or the April before then, I can't remember, when we went to Old Mill Lakes and we were on Oak Lake. On that session, Peter showed me how to catch fish. I think he had about 6 and I had 2. We had a really good session, so we're hoping we're going to get a couple on the bank in this session. That's why we've chose Hodgetts. It's one of the easier waters, although I did a 72-hour blank here a few weeks ago. But yeah, we're a bit more hopeful that the weather's warmed up a little bit. It's still pretty cold on a night time, going down to like -1, -2. So yeah, I know I'm making excuses already, but it's still that winter style of temperatures. So yeah, we're up against it, but we're here. Fortunately, there's no rain forecast for the next couple of nights whilst we're here, so that's good. So yeah, I've started off on swim 8 and Peter's in swim 9, and I've gone with 2 rods on the bottom with just mesh bags, just a little golf ball sized mesh bag nicked on that hook, and my plan is to bring them in every couple of hours and just cast around and just try and get a bite. I'm not putting any bait out, it's just a case of try and nick a bite and then take it from there. And then I've got 1 rod on a zig. It would be crazy not to have a rod on a zig in this weather. So I've started it off, it's on an adjustable zig and it's about 11 foot high off the deck in about 18 foot of water. So I'm just going to be playing around with that and see what happens, if anything. But we're here, the sun's out, and we are very pleased to be here. So I'm going to stop waffling. I've just literally got settled in, so I'm going to get a bit of lunch on. It's 1 o'clock, get a bite to eat, and then I'll go and join Peter and have a bit of a social, have a catch up. So I'll update you in a bit. Well, that's not a bad way to start the morning, is it? Looking out at that lovely sunrise. So I've just got up early. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. I've just brought all 3 rods in and freshened up the 2 hook baits that were on the bottom, and got the zig back out in a slightly different area. Well, I've put all 3 out in slightly different areas, but the 2 rods on the bottom have gone a little bit further out towards the middle. And yeah, it's been very quiet. I think we've seen 1 fish come out yesterday. There's a couple of lads over on swims 2 and 3 over on that opposite bank, and it looked like a lad had caught one on a zig the way he was playing it. Didn't look very big from here, but bite's a bite, be more than welcome. But yeah, what a beautiful morning. I think it got down to about -1 during the night, so things are a little bit frosted over, but I can feel the heat in that sun already. It's going to very quickly all thaw out and warm me up, so very good. But yeah, I think that zig is definitely going to be a possibility today. It's that kind of weather, clear skies, bright sun. I think it's going to be about 12 degrees, so I had it at 10 foot yesterday, and then I think I had it at 11 foot during the night. I put it at 12 foot just now, and yeah, maybe every hour I'll put it a little bit higher in the water, just see if we can get something that way. But the good news is the Facebook page for this place last night put a post on. Someone had got a £37 mirror out of this lake just within the last few days, which is now a lake record, and it actually came out from this swim that I'm in now, swim 8. It said it was 22 wraps out, fishing towards swims 2 and 3, so pretty much the middle of the lake. It was caught on the bottom. I think one of my rods, my left hand rod, is not a million miles from that area, so yeah, like I said yesterday, I'm planning on bringing them in often today, and I'm just going to try and locate them. Little mesh bags. The aim of the game is just to nick a bite. That's 6 nights I've done so far this year here, not on Disney, without anything to show for it, so a fish would be more than welcome. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of videoing now, because I think these next few hours are especially crucial to getting a bite on the bank between me and Peter. Really hope that I can give you an update this morning with something to show. Peter's doing similar tactics to me. He's using just a PVA mesh bag attached to his rig. He's fishing all 3 on the bottom. He's got that left hand margin, so he's got one in the left hand margin in the shallower water, in about 6 foot of water, and he's got 2 in the deeper water. So all bases covered between the 2 of us. Fingers crossed we have a little bit of luck today. Well, I do apologise for the lack of updates. This winter fishing isn't easy, is it? It's 1:30 in the afternoon and there's just been nothing happening, unfortunately. Myself and Peter were trying everything. We're just using little mesh bags, nicked on the hook, so I'm just using a golf ball sized mesh bag with a mixture of pellets in, and Peter's pretty much doing the same. He's using like crumbed up manila boilies, and yeah, it's tough going, which seems to be a recurring theme for me on the bank. So yeah, it's one of them. The good news is the weather's very good for us, as in very comfortable. We've got sunshine and it's very pleasant, so we're comfortable, but unfortunately the fish don't want to feed. So yeah, all quiet unfortunately. Tactics wise, I've brought in my zig rod, I've changed it over. I've got all 3 on a bottom bait now, and yeah, I've got one far out towards the middle, and I've now brought my other 2 rods close in. So straight out in front is like a marginal shelf, and it drops straight down after about 2 rod lengths, maybe 3 rod lengths. It drops straight down to like 15 feet or something. So I'm literally just fishing just off that marginal shelf, so I'm in deep water, but very close in, literally about 4 rod lengths out with 2 rods, and I'm just trying something different because I've had rods out in the middle and nothing's happening. So time to fish a bit closer in and see if we can nick a bite before we go off in the morning. But yeah, unfortunately bloody tough going. So this video is going to be merged with my last one, which was the blank on Stocks Lake. So yeah, I'm sorry for the boring video footage I'm bringing. I can only apologise for that, but you know, that's the way it goes, unfortunately. I always put my videos up no matter what the outcome, which at the moment is making me look like a pretty crap angler, but I'm here and I'm trying, and I know I'm doing all the right things, especially on this session. Putting any bait out is definitely a big no-no. They're just not really feeding. The feeding spells will be very small. You know, there might literally just be an hour a day at the moment, and I don't know which hour that is. So yeah, but I'll keep on trying, and Peter will carry on doing what he's doing. He's doing a similar thing. He's moving his rods around. He's just trying to find them, and yeah, we'll carry on doing what we're doing, but we're enjoying the social side of things, and that's what this session was all about. This session's been planned for a long time, probably not far off a year. So yeah, fishing's not really the priority. It's more about just having a good catch up and enjoying each other's company. We had a lovely barbecue last night and we're having another one tonight, so we're enjoying ourselves. Unfortunately, the fish don't want to play ball at the moment, but you never know, we might nick one at some point this afternoon. It would be lovely if one of us gets a fish, but if we don't, it's not to be. But yeah, this catfishing isn't for everyone, but I'm still enjoying myself, and yeah, hopefully I'll be updating you in a few hours, hopefully with a fish, but we'll see. Well, unfortunately we're into the last hour now. It's been an unsuccessful trip fishing wise, but me and Peter have both thoroughly enjoyed the social, as we always do. But yeah, fishing is still bloody tricky. So that's 7 nights I've spent within the last 5-6 weeks here at Norton Disney, to no fish to show for it. So I'll leave you with my final thoughts on winter fishing and Norton Disney in the winter. Winter fishing, it's always going to be harder no matter where you go. You are more or less camping with just a small chance of catching a fish, unless you go to somewhere with real winter form, maybe a shallower lake with higher stock, to increase your chances. But yeah, you expect it to be a lot slower in winter, which for me, I believe that the prices should reflect that. Now, Norton Disney, they do offer a winter ticket, which I think runs from the 1st of November to about the 1st of March, something like that. I think it's about £300. So as long as you do, say, 10 sessions, that's going to pay for that. But personally, I don't think I'd get 10 sessions within that space of time. I've only managed to do as much as I have this time because I've had a little bit of time off from work, which isn't always guaranteed in the winter for myself. So yeah, for me, I think if I was more local to Norton Disney and I could drop on a night a week or whatever, a winter ticket would be worth it financially. Do I think it's got winter form? Not really. There is 6 lakes here, but they're all deep. Even Stocks, which is the shallowest, it's got that deep bowl area, so they're all quite deep. They do throw the odd fish up, but when you think of the amount of anglers that fish the lakes, there's always anglers on each lake in the winter, and some of these lakes go days, sometimes weeks, before they throw up a fish. So yeah, Norton Disney, for me, it's not a great winter venue at this moment in time. However, the venue is spot on. I do really like it, very well run. The swims, as you can see, they're lovely, and got all the stone down, and yeah, you're very comfortable even in the winter when the weather's not on your side. But yeah, going back to the price, so yeah, they do charge the same here in the winter if you come on a day ticket than what it is the rest of the year. And I just think personally, I think it should be a bit reduced. It's a lot of money, £33 for 24 hours just to be camping, and that's 7 nights of camping I've done in the last 5 or 6 weeks. So yeah, it's been expensive for me. So I think going forward, I've already made a decision. There's a venue much closer to home for me, and he reduces his ticket prices for the winter by about 25%, which is a massive help. 24-hour sessions are normally £30, but in the winter they go to £22.50, and I think that's going to be my venue of choice for next winter. It's a lot shallower than here, and I think I'd have more chance of getting fish on the bank. So yeah, so I'm glad I've done it, glad I've experienced it, but now I know what's right for me. So I've got my plan for next winter. And when it comes to the vlogging, obviously I've been boring you to death, so I'll be doing multiple sessions in one vlog just so that it's not so boring and dragged out. Because even though this other venue might be easier, I still might be blanking every now and then. And I know how boring it can be watching those, so yeah, I'll stop waffling. But yeah, it's been good to be out on the bank. It's been good for me. Good for my head, just to have some time and yeah, have a bit of me time. But yeah, it's not been great fishing. I'm going to leave you to it. I'm going to finish my pot of instant porridge and I'll be getting ready to pack down. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching, I do appreciate it, and I'll see you again soon. Welcome back to my channel. It's Wednesday the 12th of March and I am at Tees Valley Lakes, which is in my local area, a 12-minute drive from my front door in Stockton. So yeah, I'm on Yarm Lake. Yarm Lake is a lake I've not actually fished here before, so a new experience for me. I was last here at Tees Valley last April, so it's been coming up a year now. I've only done 2 sessions here last year. First session in March when I was on Woodbury, which is that little lake exclusive. It's like a half an acre lake or something like that with just the one swim on. And I blanked. And then I came back a couple of weeks later, I think it was beginning of April, on Eagle Lake, which is a lake that I've done well in the past, and I managed to get a lovely mirror in the rain, if I remember rightly. So yeah, it's really good to be back. It's like coming home when I come back to here. This is really where I learned properly how to carp fish. And yeah, I'm on Yarm Lake. So Yarm Lake is a 1 acre lake. It's got a double swim, and this lake was converted a few years ago from just had a little liner on my middle rod. Yeah, it was converted from like a match lake. It was all drained down, and all the fish were removed, and then it was refilled and just had specimen carp put in it. So yeah, like I say, it's about 1 acre. I think it's got around 60 something carp in, up to about £27 I believe. And yeah, it's a lovely little lake. And just recently they've created a new swim. This one's a swim on its own called the pipe swim. And yeah, I believe that towards the left hand side of this swim, it was a little bit of a snaggy area, and yeah, they've recently done a lot of work and removed all the snags, opened it all up, and created this little single swim, which is absolutely cracking. You get enough water. Even if there was a couple of people on the double swim, you'd have enough water to comfortably fish from here. But I've got the luxury that there's no one else on the lake, so I do have the lake to myself. But in all fairness, I'm really fishing within my water. Yeah, there's plenty of water to go at in this swim. So yeah, all good. I'm fishing all 3 rods in different areas. I've got my left hand rod into that left hand margin, which is where they've recently done a lot of the snag removal. My middle rod is straight out ahead, about 3/4 of the way across initially. And my right hand rod is in mid-water, sort of just facing an aerator that's on the other side of the bank, only about halfway out in what I believe is deeper water. And the plan is there's mesh bags on each one, just a little golf ball size bag of pellet, and I'm going to give each rod about an hour and bring it in and just keep flicking them out in different areas and just try and see if I can get one in an area which has a feeding carp. So I'm looking at the water, although it is difficult at the moment. It's raining, hence why I'm filming inside the bivvy. And yeah, I have seen a few bubbles show, which is further out where my right hand rod is, a bit further back, so I might bring in that one in soon. flicking that one out a little bit further where I've seen some bubbles. But yeah, I'm feeling quite confident. Weather is, well, it's going to be on and off rain throughout the whole session, including during the night. But conditions are much better than what I've been fishing in recently. Air pressure is just over 1,000, which is great. Where recently I've been fishing in 1,030, 1,040, and even upwards of that at Norton Disney, obviously to no fish. So yeah, I'm only here for the one night, so 24-hour session, just to try and get a fish on the bank. I'm back at work next week, which means I'm away for a while, so yeah, this is my last session until possibly about the end of April, so let's hope we can get something on the bank. It would be good. I think I deserve one after the effort I've been putting in these last few weeks. So yeah, let's see what happens. So this is the weather I'm expecting throughout this session. So yeah, it's just going to be a mixture of rain with some dry spells, but predominantly rain, which isn't ideal, but it's good for the fishing side of things, as in they should be feeding, all being well. Well, it's been an uneventful day. It's about 5 o'clock at night now. It's going to be getting dark in the next hour. I was really hoping for a daytime bite, but this year, 2025, has not started too well on the fishing front for me. I'm still waiting for that first fish. It's going to be great when I do eventually get one on the bank. But this time yet, I won't be packing up till about 9:30 in the morning. So you never know, I might get something during the night. So I do have this lake to myself. There's no one on that double swim to my right. So I have had a little change about. So my right hand rod is towards the far margin over there. Probably be about 6 foot off that bank. I thought I might as well make the most of only me being on the lake. My middle rod is sort of where them reeds are just beginning, but in open water, about 2/3 distance between me and there. So in open water where I've seen some bubbles, might not have been a fish, but gotta try. And then my left hand rod in the corner where they've been doing some snag removal. I know it's been doing some fish lately, this swim. I think they've been coming from over there, so just got the one rod over there. I don't want it to be too pressured with lines in the water. So yeah, that's where we're at. Hard going, as usual. I'm really hoping that my carp fishing improves over the coming months. But I'm enjoying myself anyway, which is the main thing. That's what fishing's all about for me. Make sure you're enjoying yourself. So there we are. I'll get back to chilling. Think about getting some tea on. And I'll update you if I get a fish or in the morning. Well, unfortunately for me, it's been a blank, and the weather's been pretty poor, as in the rain. But yeah, never mind. It's been a really poor start to the year for me, for my fishing. That's 8 nights I've done on the bank so far since, what was it, late January or something. 7 nights at Norton Disney, 1 night here. And yeah, it's just not happened for me. Been pretty unlucky, to be honest. So yeah, these things happen. Tough time of year to get out on the bank, but the rewards are there, but they've just not came my way. So there's not a lot more I can say tactics wise. You know, I've just been using spinner rigs with pop-ups and little mesh bags of pellet nicked on the hook, just to try and have a little bit of attraction, that little mouthful, and it's just not been happening for me. I don't think I've really been doing anything wrong. If you think I have, just let me know in the comments. Yeah, it's been tough going. I'm going to merge this video just with my other couple of sessions, seeing as they've been short with no real decent footage, no fish. So yeah, short and sweet. So yeah, not ideal, but at least I managed to get out on the bank and get some fishing in. Back at work next week, so that's it now. It's going to be late April probably when I'm next on the bank, and hopefully I'll have a bit better luck. But yeah, I'm signing off now, guys. If you've watched this far, thank you very much, and tight lines.